Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The measures of Sayyidina Imam Hussain Convent and honors of Al-Khwarizmi Foundation, ladies and gentlemen of different faiths, indeed, it's an honor for me being here amongst you, learning from you the great knowledge of how to work on the present day biggest question of interfaith harmony. It is my firm belief that interfaith harmony will lead to the cause of promotion and protection of human rights. Human rights are connected with this harmony. I believe that if a daughter like Barrister Ruba can hold this function within 3 days, it's not a news for me, since she is daughter of my dear brother, Dr. Zamfar Mehdi, who has learned this lesson and parted away this lesson to his children and to his associates as well, that noble cause never needs any time limit, any hurdles. It is always the reward of the God to arrange such like function and pray for His mercy. So I commend Barrister Rubab and associates for holding such a big conference. And in a city like London, which has always been a dream for us, right from Allama Iqbal to Qazi Muhammad Ali Jinnah, and in the recent period, the exile of leaders of all the big parties and also of religious scholars as well, and giving them refuge over here and making them work for democracy and emancipation of human beings. This is not only the city of London, but the whole United Kingdom. I had been recently for 2 months in the flood-affected area. I have seen right on the bank of Indus River, at a remote place like Deer Panah in DG Khan, Islamic Mission London, other UK's mission, Christian missions, working there for the relief of the flood-affected people. Since Pakistan is a creation of one man, one vote, and one man, one vote, it is our firm belief that it is only the right of the people to decide their fate. It is always the people who are the masters of their fate. And this is what the democracy has teaches us. Rule of the people, by the people, for the people. So, at his birth, I was a boy of 5 years at that time. I couldn't reflect much about that. But the big catastrophe of millions of people moving from one place to other. The state didn't have anything, even the offices, even the desks, even the finances. Still we moved further. Then the separation of the bigger portion of the former Pakistan, again a biggest catastrophe. Then in Afghanistan, millions of people taking refuge in Pakistan, and we are still playing host to those millions of people. Out of them, only 10 or 12% have gone back. Majority of them are in Pakistan. That is the tradition which we have learned from our religion and from the life of the first lady of Islam, that Hazrat Khadijatul Kubra, that to give protection to the needy and to pet orphans, it is the main cause for which the human being is created. And then again, time and again, apart from it, that man-made catastrophe has also happened to Pakistan. Out of 63 years, we have been ruled by 36 years by the dictatorship. That is also a catastrophe as far as the Pakistan is concerned. Undemocratic regimes. And undemocratic regimes are no more. I am a very humble student of politics, but they have been patronized by the civilized world as well. My rights were being paralyzed in Pakistan. I am a judge, I am a law professor. We were in the jails, in the camps for years together for cause of democracy. The leadership was in exile. And we had to fight the four dictatorships. And I am proud to say that my party chairman, we have given lives of 3 chairpersons. Shaheed Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, Mohtamma Begum Nusrat Bhutto, almost dead. And lately, Shaheed Benazir Bhutto. It is never in the democratic history of anywhere in the world that for the cause of democracy, for peace through peaceful methods, hundreds of political workers have given their lives. Hundreds of political workers, media persons, professors, ulamas, they have seen the jails and the prisons and the atrocities. Then again, in 2005, we had a big earthquake. And millions of people were again affected. Again we moved forward with the help of course, the international community too. And Britain being our ideal, Britain being our teacher in our behaviors, in our learnings, the democracy, they have helped us throughout all periods. We are grateful to them. Islam teaches us that we should be grateful to those who help you at their hour of trial. So ladies and gentlemen, then again, now we are fighting a war against terror. Now we have become the frontline state. Malakand, Sawaz operation that made 20 to 25 lakhs IDPs, internally displaced persons. But with the help of international community, our government is proud of this fact that within 1 year we have made those internally displaced persons settled in their homelands. And the UNO has appreciated our services, that such flood of people can never be sent back in a short period to their homeland. But since our dedication, our commitment is as a Pakistani, as a Muslim, I will say that our Pakistan is a place of saints, Sufis. If you go to Lahore, you will find the tomb of Hazrat Madhulal Hussain. Madhulal and Hussain together in one man. Hazrat Junaid Baghdadi had a chilla in Baghdad with Baba Guru Nanak. Then again, in Delhi, Hazrat Mahbub Samari Nizamuddin Auliya, if we go to his tomb, he says, no, you will have to first offer prayer at Amir Khusro. Amir Khusro, he was a secular man. So So our Sufis, saints, they have told us that humanity at large is the basic religion. Every thought comes after that. So gentlemen, of the great honors, of the great education, and highly educated you people, Pakistan nowadays again has been facing the havoc of the flood. 1/3 of the Pakistan has been washed out. More than 16 and 17% of our population has become homeless, roofless, literally jobless. They are still on the road. They have suffered the 50 Celsius degree temperature. Now they will have to go to 10 or 15 degree in the coming months without any shelter, without any. Though the international community allied to their traditions, especially UK has been the biggest donor. And the present government, our heart, the heart, I say, because I'm sorry, I'm not becoming partisan. I love each and every party in Pakistan which has struggled for democracy. But since I belong to a particular party, we have said, our leader said, Benazir Bhutto said it, that the best revenge from the dictatorship is the democracy. No life for life. Democracy is the best revenge to kill a dictator. So, when President Zardari, in the beginning of the flood, had a tour of France and he came here, a debate was going on in Pakistan that the British Prime Minister has uttered some words during his tour of India. But we are a lion-hearted man. He said, no, it's nothing. We are brothers. If some mischief has been played, if some understanding has been there, I will go to him, I will see to him. And from the Prime Minister, your Mr. Cameron. Yeah. What gesture we got from him? That he planted a plant in his ancestral house where he invited President Zardari. That is the love between the two nations. So, Islam, I'm not a preacher, I'm not a scholar in religion, but this is my firm belief that Islam says us, lakum dinukum waliya din. हमें तुम्हारे लिए तुम्हारा दिन, हमारे लिए हमारा दिन. Or until and unless we believe all those prophets who have been drawn with the holy books, our iman is not complete. Our faith is not complete. We are to believe the Jesus Christ. We are to believe the Moses. We are to believe all the four for whom the books were ordained. Not only Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And as we got the article, very wonderfully said by the speaker before me, that the respect for the orphan is that the prophethood was bestowed on the orphan Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. That is the lesson of Islam. So, in Pakistan, last of all, I will, within no time, I will summarize my statement. Though Barrister Rubab has done a wonderful speech for me, since I didn't have any time. I requested her, and I asked in Pakistan, his father also, he's a my friend, he's right many things for me. He's such a giant that he'll host three meetings under Imam Hussain Council, under Al-Bizo, under Saraiki Sanjeev, under religious interfaith community. Three meetings, one at Lahore, the other at Pindi, and third at Karachi. So, it's wonderful. I'll keep it with me. I will give it to press in Pakistan. That Barrister Rubab has written it for me, and I will deliver it over. Since I'm a political worker, I wanted to express also from my heart. So now the commitment of the present government to the human rights. For the first time in Pakistan, the Human Rights Ministry, full-fledged ministry has been created. And I being the most senior man in the party, I was given the charge of this ministry. The human rights problem, as you all know, that in the society where the education is very less, where the economical conditions are very poor. I am coming from Edinburgh, where the UNO organized a conference on the human rights, and the Scottish Parliament was the host. There, the topic was business and human rights. So I asked them this as a speaker. I said, the IMF, the World Bank, and the bigger powers, when they donate to us, they give us to aid, they make such strong conditions which are out of our range. So we cannot deliver to our people those things which we must. So makes these things conditions some less conditions. I'm again thankful to you all, ladies and gentlemen, and especially to my daughter, Barrister Ruba, and to you, sir, as well. Your name are with me, and his name is also Mr. Julian, and sister is sitting there. So I'm again thankful to you. After that, I'll be sitting with you for question and answer, but of course you will give me tea at that time, because I have not taken the lunch. I have not taken the recipe. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Gilani, for a very, very enlightening speech. And should we take questions and answers now?
Yeah.
Would anybody like to take? And also, I think the minister has a meeting with you. Should we start the question?
Yeah, why not? By the way, I had to at 5 o'clock for another meeting. Here the distance is 45 minutes. Otherwise it took me 1.5.
So we have about 25 minutes for questions.
Shut up.
Yeah, please.
Minister, first of all, thank you very much for your very encouraging speech. First, I was generally, because I'm not Pakistani, I'm a Kashmiri from the Indian side. I was born there, but being a Kashmiri, I monitor Pakistan very closely, and it's something very close to my heart. A few things. If I ask you, it's a very positive thing that human rights ministry has been established under the current government. What's the general appraisal of, particularly there's a lot of criticism of Pakistan about certain laws that discriminate against minorities. Being a Muslim minority living here, we appreciate how much it's important having human rights enshrined here in Europe or in our country, in the UK. I can appreciate or I can sympathize with certain minorities living in Pakistan. Being myself a minority in India, we understand. So what are the reasons and what are you doing to address that?
Very good question.
Yeah. Do you want to take the mic? Just quickly, please. Very fast.
Thank you once again. Thank you very much. My question is very brief. To start with, I commend your government to have a human rights ministry now. As a minority living in the West, as a Muslim, I understand the concerns of minorities and the legal guarantees we have in this country or in West. Similarly, I appreciate the differences or the difficulties faced by minorities in Pakistan who are not Muslim, and they complain about various discriminating laws. I was wondering what your government is doing to address those concerns. For example, Christians have any problems in Pakistan or other minorities as well. Thank you.
That's a very good question. First of all, I would say that you must have seen Pakistan flag. The white represents the minority. That was our commitment that minorities will be the equal citizen of Pakistan. And that is what the Constitution of Pakistan says. That is what the forefathers have said. And our first law minister was a Hindu in the first Constitution. No, but anyway, this decade has introduced many commercialism in the society everywhere. The religion has been misused by some pockets, by some organizations, by some groups. That religion has been hijacked, and that religion, not even minority versus the majority, but majority also fighting with each other. Shia, Sunni, Dobandi, Brahmi, your mosque, mine mosque, many inside. So, killing has been done. This Shia community of majority of who are sitting over here, we were the victim, such a high victim that I can't narrate it. Now you are saying it to that Hindu community. The Godhra incident was the highest incident of big magnitude. Our Prime Minister, along with me and other teams, sat there for 3 days. The Punjab Chief Minister sat there for 2 days. And we have got them settled, and the human life could not be given them back. And you will be astonished to say that one Muslim was also killed by the minority community. We did not go to see him in the hospital, or we did not go to the family of that deceased, because we thought that majority has done the offense and the killings of the minority were more. So we are trying our best to resolve this situation. As far as Pakistan is concerned, Pakistan is committed to, as an equal citizen, to safeguard the interests of minorities.
Thank you very much, sir. My name is Councillor Aslam Chowdhury, and I'm the local councillor for this area and also Deputy Mayor for Gulabdar Borough Friend. I have a question about that has been of concern to me for some time, and since you're the Minister, a very senior representative of government of Pakistan, I think you're probably the best position to answer that. This government and many other people in this country have given substantial amount of money to the government of Pakistan, and there is a perception the money is not always delivered to the right people in Pakistan. Now, it may be that efforts are being made, money is going somewhere, but frankly, I think you will agree with me that there are a lot of people in this country who have really worked exceptionally hard getting the money together, and the British government especially has given an enormous amount of money, but we believe that money is not going to the people who needs to be given to. Can you tell us something about that? What exactly is happening? What is the latest situation in Pakistan? My second concern is I also happen to be a Kashmiri from the other side. I'm from Pakistan side, and my friend here earlier said that he's from the other side. We also have a concern about some of the issues that are happening in Azad Kashmir. I wonder what's your stance as far as some of the aid that perhaps was destined for that part, whether that aid actually is going to the right people there. Thank you very much. No.
Thank you very much. As regards the first portion of the question is that from 23rd of July, this catastrophe started in Pakistan. The flood started from 23rd of July. August, September, and this is October. In 2 months, still the aid is flowing. The aid is yet to reach the people. Aid is yet to reach the airports. The phase is not yet complete. It is just a start. at this hour, taking account of the aid, it is one of the impossible. Because we have not spent it so far. And if at all it is being spent, that is being spent by civil NGOs. If at all, the perception is why that I have asked my speech that the dictatorial regimes in Pakistan, they were not accountable to anyone. When the Pakistani citizens were being sold by a head of the state, previous to our General Musharraf, he writes in his book that I have been selling to Pakistan. And I have been given that money, that money, that money. The earthquake happened during this period. The aid for which the Pakistan is blamed that it was not used properly or it was not accounted properly or it has been misappropriated, that was during that period. From 2008, February 2008 to onward, we are responsible for it, and we assure you, as a representative of the people, and coming from grassroots level, coming from the front path of democracy, we will not misuse your trust. We will, inshallah, use it, and you can take it account any time you like from any government function. Number one, Pakistan is Pakistan is a very strange country. It is a very polarized country. Different nationalities, different parties ruling different provinces. The blame going up one party or another party or another. As I've said, because the political freedom has never been given to the people. The alphabetic of politics is yet to be known. So that impression gives this that no, we are failure, we can't do it. The second question is this. I'm astonished to say it. I think in my, I'm 70 now. In my 70 years, my political life is spread from 55 years. I was first button charged at the age of 15 by the police crying for rights of the students of the people in matriculate. From that day I'm in politics. I have never seen from any Kashmiri from this side saying that Pakistani government has any time cheated the amount given for Kashmiris or any time taken any misuse of their property or any of their. We have always been the champion of their dignity, their freedom. And recently, 15 days back, the central government has given, now according to the NFC award, we were not supposed to give any money to provinces or to the Azad Jammu and Kashmir government. But we have given 30 million rupees to Azad Kashmir out of the central fund just 15 days back. Although the government, that is a democratic right, that is not a People's Party government. So it's a misconception. Anyway, since you are an elected representative, I respect you, sir. We will inshallah try to correct if there is any wrong. Thank you.
Should that be the last?